Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. And today I wanted to talk about something that I'm putting up for auction again, which is this male blackhead leopard Mojave hypopide. He might be a world's first. I haven't confirmed that, but I haven't seen anything else like it. But he's definitely the first like him ever listed on Morph Market. I decided to put him back up for auction last night, and he has a reserve, and the reserve isn't $100. So if you're interested in the snake, he's up for auction right now. And so I wanted to sort of highlight this. I put it up last night, so it should end, I think, probably about, it's a 2-day auction, it should end around maybe Wednesday, about 6 p.m. Eastern time. But he's ready to breed, 730 grams, and is going to be a big get for somebody. Now I'm keeping his brother, who is also het black axanthic. This male proved negative for het black axanthic, which is why I'm selling him. I'm keeping his brother, but they're both about the same size, and they're both fantastic eaters and one-of-a-kind snakes. So I wanted to sort of showcase him here a little bit. He's very active, has a very nice personality. He's a fantastic eater. Just insane looking snake, one of a kind. I don't know if, hopefully that's focusing there on him. You can actually see the colors. It's very like a steely, like kind of steely purple color. He was a little more purpley as he was younger. His nose there is starting to actually get darker as he ages, which I think is kind of neat. His nose, tip of his nose there was the same color as the rest of his head when he was born. And on his auction on Morph Market, I have the baby photos as well, so you can see that. But his brother's doing it too. As he ages, the tip of the nose starts to get darker a little bit, which is kind of neat. It actually kind of brings maybe like a darker purpley color actually into that. So he has that nice spot here on his back as well. And I think he has, I don't know if you can see back there on his tail, I think he has a little spot right there. There it is. Little golden spot, which would be from the Mojave. But it really has these really neat colors that I've never seen on a hypopide before, really on any ball python. And I think a combination of the, let me get him here. Let me turn around here. Turn the camera around. There we go. I think a combination of the blackhead leopard and Mojave are obviously what bring this color tone to him. And having it in the pied helps too, because when you put blackhead leopard Mojave together in pied, it creates basically something that doesn't have any pattern. It has obviously the saddles and the head, but there's no stripes or wiggly lines or anything. They're just kind of colored splotches. So I think that's where we get that from. Just awesome project. I cannot wait to expand it a little more. His brother is getting bred into the pinstripe hypopide that I have. And I have a hypo pinstripe double het clown pied and a pinstripe clown pied het hypo that I think I'm probably going to breed in all 3 of those females. So I will be making hypopides, and I'll be making hypopide het clowns. And we have blackhead Mojave and leopard and pinstripe in the mix. So hopefully make some higher pattern hypopides. But let me get him into his tub here so I can give you kind of an overall top-down view. So he, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me unwrap him from my hand because he's not working with me here. So the auction, again, will end Wednesday afternoon at about 6 p.m. Eastern. I guess it'll be afternoon, dinner time on the East Coast, and it'll be lunchtime, or I guess early afternoon in the West Coast. But yeah, so it does have a reserve. I do not have the reserve set at something silly low. I mean, the snake's value is extremely high, not only because of him being one of a kind, but also because of his age and the genes that he carries. I mean, blackhead leopard Mojave are extremely valuable in any project. You get him paired up to a hypo clown, and you're making some insane hypos that have het pied, het clown. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is work that into the hypo clown pied project, hypo clown project. And blackhead leopard Mojave work. They're a trio like no other that pretty much work obviously in pied and hypopide, work well in clown. They work well together outside of any recessives. So the way you could use this male is basically an infinite amount of ways. If you're working on a hypopide project, if you're working on a hypo clown project, hypopide clown project, I'm sure it would look fantastic in DG. So, I mean, you really take him any way you can get him. And because he's almost a year old, 730 grams, so he's basically at breeding size. I have not bred him at all. But he's ready to go, ready to hook up to basically your females and start plugging away, which is another reason for, the value you're getting with a snake like this. It's not like a hatchling that you're pulling straight out of the egg and you got to grow him up for a year. I already did all the hard work. All you have to do at this point is just pair him up, find the right ladies for him and pair him up and let him go. And I think, let me get him away because he's kind of crazy. He's there you go. We'll give him a nice view while we get his tub put away. Hopefully he doesn't slither out. Last time I tried this on a video, the other snake got away and got stuck in the rack, and I had to figure out how to get him out. There's definitely a lot of value in purchasing animals that aren't hatchlings. I know a lot of people like purchasing hatchlings. A lot of people like growing the snakes up and telling the story of it. And last week we did a video about, trimming the fat and not being sentimental about stuff. And this is one of those things where when you have the ability to grab a snake like that basically isn't available anywhere, that's already an adult and ready to breed, you jump on it. Because I bought a leopard OD DG pied male from Aussie a couple months back, proven breeder, ready to go. And I was planning on growing out some males of my own for the DG pied project, but they were hets or double hets or visual hets. And when that popped up in the snake, I got him a pretty decent deal. I was able to plug him into my project immediately. I was able to start pairing him up to, these females. And as you can see, she's already hugging this side. She's looking kind of swollen. I haven't measured her lately, but they've had 3 locks already. When you're able to do that with a snake and just get immediate results out of it, it completely changes the game for you. You're not waiting 1 to 2 to 3 years to get clutches of eggs out of those snakes. When you can do it right now, assuming you have the males and the females for it, it completely changes the game for you. So even if you were to drop a couple grand on that snake, pairing him up to a hypopide female or pairing him up to a pied head hypo female, and those things don't cost very much money right now. You can buy hypopides pretty cheap. You can buy pied head hypos or hypopides pretty cheap. Even if you bought that male and bought some 3 visual het females to go with them, within, assuming they're ready to breed already, the females, within 6 months to a year, you're gonna make all your money back and probably triple it. That's the sort of things and projects you need to be looking at. How can I maximize my investment? How can I maximize the money I'm putting into a project? Is it going to retain its value by the time I'm able to breed it? So when you're buying some older snakes that are a higher dollar value, that are higher end, that have genes that have staying power, and you buy that snake and you're able to breed it right now, it completely changes all of that because you don't have to play that waiting game. You don't have to wait for the market to change direction. You don't have to wait for the market to come back up if it went down like it did. If you would have bought this snake 2 years ago, before the market crashed, you would have made immediate gains off of that. So, it's an investment thing. It is. I know some people don't like the term investments when you're talking about purchasing snakes, but it is. It really is. And still to this day, and I reference this almost probably once a week now, this snake that I got from Aussie a few years back has proven to be the best investment that I've made. And he wasn't even my most expensive snake. He was probably half the cost of my most expensive snake. So he's an ultramel het pied, he's orange dream, leopard, firefly, enchi, yellow belly. And this snake has produced the craziest looking ultramels and the craziest looking pieds that I have ever seen. And obviously they're pos het pied or het pied, het ultramel, however it works out with the pairing. He's produced tons of snakes for me that have paid dividends beyond what I could tell you. This guy had he's had, I think, 5 or 6 clutches at this point. I have probably 10 babies that he created that I've held back, and I've sold a ton of babies from him. And, I paid $5,500 for him in 2021. I probably bet you that he made me $20,000 last year. That's including, or not including, the snakes that I kept. So he made me probably 20 grand last year, and I probably kept snakes that are worth more than that because I kept all the good stuff. And I sold all the stuff that weren't holdback material for me. So that sort of investment, when you buy one male that can be bred to 3, 4, 5 females and has very powerful genetics, completely changes the way that your projects run. Completely change the way that your business is running. So 2 days on this male. I'm actually recording this video right after I listed him for sale. So this auction will be done Wednesday about 6 p.m. Eastern, so July 3rd. So I was trying to have it finished before July 4th. If it doesn't sell, that's fine. I'll put it back up for auction again. I did list in the auction itself, if you are the high bidder and you don't hit the reserve price, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you don't hit the reserve price, DM me, and then we can discuss pricing to see if we can come to a happy medium or maybe get you to that reserve price. I've been very generous with the reserve price. It's nowhere near what I have the list price at, which I believe you can see outside of the auction. I don't know how that works on Morph Market. Very generous with the reserve price. It's not $100. It's not $1,000, but it's pretty generous. So if you are the high bidder and you don't hit it, DM me. Hopefully I do get a high bidder on the auction, and we can get to pound the gavel here at Wednesday at 6. But I'm excited to see what happens this time around. If he doesn't sell and I don't get a higher price, that's fine. I will keep him. I'll probably actually re-auction him. I have 3 auctions every month with Morph Market, so I'll probably end up just re-auctioning him every time for 2 reasons. To see if he sells, number 1, but number 2, exposure. This is maybe like an insider tip here. There's 30,000 plus snakes on Morph Market, but there's only a couple hundred in the auction block. So when you put a snake up for auction, and it's a lot easier to see and find by people on Morph Market, it's basically really good advertising for you. So if you have something worthwhile, if you're throwing up a Mojave on there, nobody's looking at it except for the one person looking for Mojave. This guy, everybody's probably going to look at, even if they aren't going to bid on it or have the desire to buy it. It's going to be seen by everybody looking through those auctions. So, if I have to keep re-auctioning him until I get the right buyer, that's fine, unless somebody else comes in between auctions and buys them, which has happened before as well. So yes, I'm excited about this. It's like a bittersweet thing where I want to sell him, obviously, because it's going to be a nice payday, but I don't want to sell him because he's so unique. But I guess the fact that I have another male like him is kind of like my consolation prize. I guess he's the consolation prize because the one I'm keeping has 1 extra gene in him. So take a look at that auction. If you have deeper pocketbook, if you have deeper pockets, take a look, and hopefully we have a winner on Wednesday afternoon, and we can ship them out next week.